My mum and dad split up when I was very young. I think I was 3 years old when that happened. So I think that shaped me, because I think being put in a situation where you are really genuinely out of your comfort zone, walking into a brand new school, knowing nobody on your first day, it's not good for any child.
I want to talk to you. Obviously, on LinkedIn, social media, everyone knows the current Andrew Wood, but maybe they don't know, not the older, but the younger Andrew Wood. What was childhood like for you? Can you take us back to the beginning? Any moments that shaped you? What was your childhood like?
How far do you want me to go back?
As far back as you want to go. Anything you think's worth mentioning?
Childhood. I had two older brothers, and the house was crazy. My mum and dad split up when I was very young. I think I was 3 years old when that happened. So it was largely my mum and my brothers, certainly up to the age of, from 3 to 9 or something like that, 10. My mum got married again when I was around 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I think between the age of 3 to 11, I was living in Huddersfield. I loved it. I loved Huddersfield. I loved the friends I had. I loved the place. I was playing football. I enjoyed the school side of things. And the truth be known, the parental split up, albeit I was very young, 3 years old. That probably hit me at 11 when my mum decided she was going to remarry somebody and had to move house.
Yeah.
And that meant moving school. So moving school was awful, because I'd just gone to high school, just completed my first year at high school. I actually really liked my high school as well. And then she turns around and says to me, she met somebody else. And she said, we're going to move to Pontefract from Huddersfield.
Okay.
Well, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was absolutely gutted, like properly gutted. I had to leave high school. In fact, I didn't, because my mum worked at the high school I was at first. So I moved, and I remember the weekend I moved, I went to watch, my dad took me and my brothers to watch AC Milan versus Juventus in Italy at the San Siro. So I went and watched that, and then came back, and I was faced with this horrible situation where I was moving house. So we had to leave a house that I loved, moved to Pontefract, and I knew nobody. For the first year of high school, though, then I was travelling from Pontefract to Huddersfield every day, because my mum was working and I was still at school there. And the idea was that would continue. I'd just carry on going there, but it just wasn't practical. It was taking an hour a day.
Really?
There, an hour a day back. And it just wasn't working. And with football as well, I might as well just lived in Huddersfield. It was ridiculous. So I told I had to leave that high school, and like I said, I was absolutely gutted. Anyway, I went to a new high school, and I settled in quite quick. It was quite a daunting experience. You can imagine being 12 years old, starting a new high school is not good. But I settled in quite quick, and I enjoyed that school, and I stayed there for the rest of my high school experience. I joined the football team, and very quickly made friends, really good friends. And I think that shaped me, because I think being put in a situation where you are really genuinely out of your comfort zone, walking into a brand new school, knowing nobody on your first day, it's not good for any child. For kids that move about, it has an impact.
Of course.
And I suddenly had a stepdad, and I didn't like him. I couldn't stand him. So I'm living in a house with my mum, stepdad. My brothers worked there as well, because the brother that was middle was 18 and he was at university, so he'd moved out. My other brother was even older, so he had a house in Huddersfield. So suddenly I'd gone from a home where I've got two brothers and a mum to living by myself with my mum and a stepdad who I didn't really like.
Yeah.
So that worked great, and despite my numerous appeals to my mum not to do it, I had to endure that experience. But that aside, the friends I made were great. I went to do A-levels New College, loved that, and Pontefract as an area to grow up was great. I went to places like Pontefract Rugby Club, where there was loads of lads, loads of lasses, loads of people, really good social scene, and it was a real family club. And I enjoyed that. I worked behind the bar there a lot, so I was constantly working because it was a private club. I could work behind the bar at 12 years old. So on a Saturday afternoon, I'd be serving beers. And this is brilliant.
12,
yeah, I loved it. And the guy who run the bar as well, he was a guy called John Archer, and I loved him. He was brilliant. He taught me all sorts about business and customer service. I didn't even know I was learning, but he used to teach me all sorts about how to run a bar and how to treat people and how to talk to people. And I think that probably brought my personality out. Yeah. He was brilliant. I loved him to death. And his son worked behind the bar with me. I went to university because my parents told me to go to university. I didn't want to go to university, but I played football for the university team for a year, which I loved, and basically spent a year drinking and playing football. I did about 3 or 4 lectures, fell out with that very quickly. And then I went to work in the play industry, and I went to work for a company over in Leeds. I met the guy who I set up ESP with. We set up ESP, and the rest is history. But I think my childhood, ultimately, I look back, I'm quite fond of my childhood. I enjoyed it, Would I want it to have been different? Yes. Would I have preferred it another way? Yes. But, you are who you are. Things happen. I think I can adapt quite quick. I think I can get on with pretty much most people I've ever met. I put a lot of that down to my mum. I think she's quite thick-skinned. I think she's quite, she's got a get-on-with-it attitude, and you just keep moving forward, never look back. I went to Man United every week. We had season tickets at United. That's the thing I did with my dad on a weekend. So me and my brothers and my dad would go to United every single weekend, which was just unbelievable. And unfortunately for me, when we first won the league, the Premier League in 92, 93, I'm 10, 11 years old. So I'm seeing the likes of Eric Cantona. I'm seeing Ryan Robson. I'm seeing Ryan Giggs come onto the scene. Then I got the class of 92. Saw all that come through, all live. I saw us win the Champions League. So I've been blessed in terms of my experience at United, in terms of my upbringing. So that was unreal, and some of the best memories I'll ever have. So I'd say, my younger age, good. It's good. It shapes me. Challenges, but who doesn't have challenges? No one. I don't think anyone would have the perfect childhood. If I could change any of it, I wouldn't have had a stepdad. I probably wouldn't have moved to Pontefract, but looking back now, at the time I hated it, but looking back now, actually, it's part of me and who I am and the people I've met in life, and I wouldn't change that now, looking back.
You don't have to say, but did your relationship improve with your stepdad?
No, hated him.
Right.
Hated him. To the point where even on my 21st birthday party, I beat him up. I didn't beat him up. Oh, God. I didn't beat him up, but I gave him a quick slap.
Yeah.
And that's because of largely due to the way he treated my mum.
Right.
I didn't like it. He was a bully.
Yeah.
He was a bully, and he was one of these people, the worst type for me, really good in public places, in front of people, have a good laugh, have a great laugh behind closed doors, one of the most horrible people you'll ever meet in your life.
Put a front on.
And I can't stand people like that.
No.
And I used to watch it, I used to see it,
and
despite who you tell people, I never believe you, think, no way, he's not like that. He's the most sociable person ever.
Yeah.
He has a laugh, he has a joke, he does this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you have no idea. I mean, talk about Jekyll and Hyde.
Right.
I mean, we're talking Jekyll and Hyde on the biggest spectrum. Mm-hmm. So, no, I didn't enjoy that. And finally, eventually, although I'd left home, I had a mortgage at 19 for this very reason. I just hated the house. So I had a mortgage at 19 years old, which I couldn't really afford, but I got one. Which again, probably the making of me, because suddenly I had the reality of bills and costs and responsibility.
Yeah.
So having that at 19 years old, I had to grow up very quickly. Again, out of bad comes good. So as bad as that was, and the reasons behind me wanting to move out were seen as bad reasons, as I sit here today, it's good reasons, because I got on the housing ladder very early. I had to, like I say, I had to grow up and understand the responsibility of costs very quickly, as opposed to relying on parents. So I think that probably drove me. It drove me a lot. It certainly made me ambitious, because I liked having money, and I knew I had to go and earn it, because I had a lot to pay out. So if I wanted some money left over, I needed to perform. So that drove my attitude towards work and my relentlessness to succeed, because there was no way that I wasn't going to go and put myself in a position where I couldn't have nice things or go out and socialise, because I'm a sociable person. So I do believe in out of bad comes good, and I think as much as there's parts of that which I really genuinely despise and didn't enjoy, it has made me who I am today. And I probably would I be the same now? Who knows? You can't possibly say. But it was interesting. I have no regrets though. No regret. I don't look back and go, oh,
wish I'd changed.
I wish this, wish this. Did what I did. I made the choices I made, and I'm very happy with the outcome. So here we are. But my mum's no longer with him. She's happy as she's ever been. Probably frightened to do it, but I encouraged her to do it as much as possible. Finally, she did, and she's living a life now where she's never been happier, and that's nice to see.
Yeah,
because it wasn't nice to see the other side.
No, definitely not. And you mentioned your mum works in a school.
She did.
And I think in a previous video you said you grew up in a family around people who were in business.
Yeah.
Was it your dad? Was it your
brothers?
My
dad was a managing director of a large chemical firm, a divisional managing director. So I was around business with him all the time. He always had, the nice car, going to work in suits and what have you. So I always wanted to do that, be that, business was always something I liked. And then my brother's got a very similar passion about business that I've got. He did the educational route. He did his A-levels. He got his degrees and his masters. He went to work for people like, he started in the chemical industry, but he went to work for Mars. And Mars were incredible at providing training and development. You're around some of the best in the world of business at Mars, so he had an incredible experience there. He's now recently, in the last year, been afforded the opportunity to be the CEO of Seabrook Crisps in Bradford.
Oh, wow.
So he's been in business, and it's another person again who was in my family, who's older than me, that's been successful in that area. And I just think we have this similar vein through the business.
Sounds like it's in your blood.
We genuinely enjoy business. We enjoy the idea of profit and loss. So it's always been around me, but it's been my family that's done that in terms of my dad and my brothers. I've had others, uncles and people like that do it, but in different arenas. But they're the areas that probably got me really interested. I always liked the idea as a kid though, wearing suits to work. I loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
Although, imagine they used to wear in the 90s those big baggy suits with a briefcase, like the 90s, like Michael Jordan.
Double-breasted ones, but they're in now again, double-breasted.
Yeah, they're going back, I did quite
double-breasted
like them,
ones, you used to watch, I certainly did anyway, you watch Pretty Woman and Richard Gere and driving the Lotus around in Hollywood and his shirt and his tie. It's like, I'm going to be a bit of that. I want to be a bit of that. I love 80s music.
I think more recently it's Wolf of Wall Street, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's a bit much. I mean...
Well, that was 80s, it was set in the 80s, wasn't
it? It was, but I've no doubt that there's elements of that are very true, but...
That doesn't mirror your lifestyle.
No, it doesn't. Not quite as wild as that. No, I liked, like I said, I like the topic, and I think everything that's happened to me, like I say, at the time you think it's terrible, but all I will say to anyone who's going through an experience like that, you might think it's bad now, but out of bad comes good, makes you a better person as long as you have this view that you just keep ploughing forward, because it's not forever.
No.
And life is what you make of it. So don't let it chew you up and spit you out. Take control.